Lost to Vafsi. I know, Vafsi, of all the teams, Vafsi. Run the intro. We've already lost, so it's over, isn't it? It's over. Hello then, viewers. Welcome back to Glory Hunter with me, DoctorBenjyFM. Good to see you. I find you very, very well every day. I hope you find you well every day. I hope you spread every day's well. I want nothing but wellness, viewers. So you can see straight away, since we last met, it was the game against Nancy. It was a 1-0 win. We played Monaco away from home and beat them 2-0, which I thought, yes, this is, here we go. This is our season. Rumbling in the jungling. We were loving it. And then 2-1 against Nantes again. Looking good. And a flawless August to kick things off, viewers. And then Vafsi come along. Can you believe it? Sure, I know it's VAFC, but I think Vafsi is better. 1-0 defeat, Amarilla got injured, and terribly. And actually, speaking of Amarilla, a few people questioning how this actually occurred. How have we managed to get him on a free transfer after being bought for 32 million from AJAX? Well, from my perspective, I signed a free transfer. If we take a look at the history of AJAX's transfers and we go to released players, for whatever reason, Walter Amarilla is on that list. And, yeah, the only thing I can think, and this is my only logic to the conversation, is he was on a pretty big contract at Mönchengladbach. And maybe Ajax bought him with a sort of, when they pay a percentage of the fee. If you've ever done this with a player, you'll know what I'm talking about. Sometimes you get him on a much lower contract, and they might have just had him on a 1-year contract and spent 32 million. Now, admittedly, viewers, that is mental. But us over here at Nice, we're loving it. We've got him on 69 grand. We're paying all of that wage, and he's our player. He's also injured, and he's also started the season not that brilliantly. So the injury is probably a blessing in disguise. I say for a guy who's worth 40 million on 70 grand a week. Oh God, I'm so pleased he's injured, viewers. Now today we're playing against Lyon in what is said to be one of the biggest tussles of our season. The home game against them. You can see our Europa League group's really quite fun as well. Lazio, Norwich, and Salzburg in there as well. Or Salzburg. It's going to be really interesting to see how we do against those teams. We're actually going to play Lazio. We won't focus too much on the Europa League, of course we won't, but I'm quite interested to see how we do against a side that I think will be a good challenge in Lazio. And yeah, again, arguably, would Lazio probably win Ligue 1? Probably. So that's kind of what we're doing here. PSG are good, but Lazio in Italy, we know they were a problem for us, a big problem. We made one more signing. I'm leaving myself plenty of money for the January if we need to improve or we get big injuries or things like that. So yeah, 22 million still there, 38 in the bank, looking pretty good. The one signing we brought in was a player that we talked about before anyway. If we take a look at the transfer history again, very briefly, that's not our release players. We'd love to see who was signed. It was Trond Christiansen has been brought in as the backup left back for us. I know you're excited. I can sense your excitement. So the team then going into this game against Lyon with Amarilla dropping out, we're going to go continuing in fact with this side and a team that you're very familiar with by now, I hope. Borsting will be in goal. We've got Lucas Diallo, Haman, and Low at the back. Diallo comes back in after his early season injury. Yonik's going to play just in front. Love him, by the way. He's lovely. Yanshev and Bernard will be in the centre, of course, the duo from last season, and Joao Victor partners Mikel Torreira and Ivanov up front. Ivanov, by the way, scored in that Monaco game. It was really quite funny. He scored 2 goals in that game. Both goals basically identical. I won't show you them, but I'll show you exactly where they're scored from, and it's fun to look at. If you look at it there, look, you can see they're both shots coming in from almost the exact same position. Running through, striking just inside the penalty area. Again, very, very similar. I thought it was like the Truman Show. I was like, what's going on here? Why is this the same thing happening over and over again? All right, then, let's play them then. Getting Joao Victor to become natural in this role is going to be pretty key to our season, I think. And Bernard, obviously not playing much this season, is still my first choice to play in the centre. Utaka could play there. Decent player, but I think Bernard's played there a few times for me already, especially last season, of course. So we're going to get him in there. Dylan Lee's another option for us in the centre, but we're going with our main man. You can watch him, viewers. You can watch Bernard watch. Oh, whatever. I'm trying. Also, I've changed my microphone. I've got this on there. Look at this now. Oh, look at me. Bye, viewers. See you in a bit. And then I sort of come back and, oh, look at that. That's fun, isn't it? I mean, everyone's got one. I've been using a mic stand for years. I've moved into the 21st century, viewers. It's like NASA here now. You're not even on a tripod anymore. You're on a little mount. The tripod, I said, you're not used anymore. He said, please let me be in one of the videos. So there he is, loving it. Having your big moment, aren't you? Yeah, sure. Standing ovation. So he's loving that. Whatever, viewers. All right, then, here we go. Nice versus Lyon, as the time early on is flying by. There's no time to waste. There's Paris Saint-Germain, as you can see, up there. Now, that we lost to Vafsi, and the reality is about Vafsi, they're having a really good start to the season. So maybe they're a contender this year. No, they've not had a tycoon investment. No, they've not spent loads of money. They're just having a really, really good start so far. And not much has changed here at Nice. We are continuing to play quite defensive, quite a stable system in hope that teams struggle to break us down. We say this now, of course, as Lyon come forward and make me look a fool, viewers, because that's the way this tends to work. As they've got Calabro, plays it out to Fuera, who has struck it off the bar unbelievably. That's quite an effort, quite a scary effort. 37, 38 minutes gone, and this game so far, it's funny because Lyon obviously were a side that finished many points ahead of us last season, so getting a point against them, this is how I thought the game would go. They've had more chances, we're having more of the ball. It's not a bad result, this. I definitely think there's players these days, though, to come off the bench, maybe cause problems, right? We're looking at the likes of Schofield and Huxu. We've got a chance there. We can begin to mix things up a little bit if we want to. And last year, we didn't really have that. And that could end up being the difference this season. Worth noting, some of these Lyon boys are particularly good, so we have to be on our best behaviour. A lot of you agree we had a really good window. People still can't believe how good a window I've had. Of course, when it comes to regens, it does get that little bit easier because I get to know exactly what I'm looking for, and hopefully those players exist. Whereas with real life players, they do seem tied down to clubs sometimes, where that's not always the case with some of these regens, it feels like. As they're keeping the ball quite neatly here. And one of our big strengths, though, is nicking the ball high up the pitch and potentially starting ourselves on a very rapid counter-attack. As they're taking their time here, as we continue to put pressure on the goalkeeper, who's done pretty well there. And now Lyon get a chance to bring it out. And you can see a bit of an overload happening on that side. And, of course, we play quite a narrow formation, but not a particularly narrow system, as that is a fantastic finish. Juan Diego. No, I'm not going to do it. But Johnny Deegs there with the goal. A really great finish as well. Gelsino plays for them, of course, a player that we had at Arsenal. It's the ball here. It's a pretty outrageous finish when you think about it. First time, drills it into the bottom corner, and yeah, we need to change something. A move I've done quite a few times is taken off Mikel Terena. Huxu's going to get another chance. Mikel Terena comes off, and we just make him advance forward. Him and Ivanov now pushing further forward. Done it a few times, and it definitely seems to force teams backwards. We'll go slightly more positive as well, play on the front foot a little bit more, as I'll demand more as well. This is the game. Out of the two today, this is the one I really want to win. The Lazio game coming up in a minute, that's a test, but with 15 minutes to go, something has to change here, viewers. I'm going to push us up slightly further forward and make these boys a little bit more attacking. Hopefully that way they'll move into channels a little bit more, roaming for position a little bit more, and basically being a force. You can now see there's 5 attacking players pushing forward. We're going for this now. They'll also help us with a little bit more width, I'm hoping. That's the idea with this. And we've got a chance. Okay, I was going to go more attacking, but we've got a chance. Let's see what comes from it. Oh, God. Haman's giving it away. And there, Gelsino's forward. He's very technically good. Ball played in. Diallo gets it half clear, really. Big shot comes in. He's hit the bar again. Great double save. Goodness me. Borsting there, proving his worth. Of course, beating him for the goal. Again, I'll put it down to a great finish, but really good work from him as this Lyon side, with that one moment of quality. Oh man, I could have been another change, but I think it's over. They're going to beat me, and it's 2 back-to-back defeats for this Nice team now. This is obviously not what we need, viewers. I can't find any performances. No, I'm not happy. We've got to be better than that, especially in the final thirds. And it might be a case now with the more technical players that we're getting in. Maybe we start playing at a higher tempo. This more defensive system is great when you're drawing and getting wins, but when you're not, it looks awful. And into 5th. 5 games in. I guess if you take last season as our example, which I'm going to give myself a little bit more confidence, we've got 9 points where last season we had 0. So it's not too bad. Marseille are terrible. Yes, you've observed that correctly. And the Monaco side that we beat are now beating Angers 5-1 and are trying to come back up the table. It's a strange situation. This league is odd. Paris Saint-Germain, they're the only side unbeaten so far, and they will, of course, be the team to catch. Yeah, already away behind them. It's going to be interesting. Now, looking through Nice's early history, there were a few times where they're finishing 5th and 6th, so they have been in the Europa League before. I don't think they did particularly well in it, though. They run us up in the Euro Cup 2 twice, but in terms of the Europa League, there's no history there. So, could this be the first time they ever win it? Maybe, just maybe. Of course, winning the Europa League would put us in the Champions League, so that's a good route. But if we're not finishing in the top spots this time around, then that would worry me a little bit. Worth noting as well, and I'll say this now, only the top 3. That's right. France lost a spot. You can see they're down to 5th now in the almost the coefficients. Only the top 3 now going to the Champions League. The top 5 are European spaces. 6th now, no longer good enough for Europe. So That's a bit scary. All right then, gang. Second game of the episode, and Kill is not available to be registered. The problem is Puete is injured, of course, and I registered those 2 boys for the Europa League, and now he can't play. So if we get a goalkeeper injury, viewers, I mean, Morgan Pommier can play, and that's ideal, isn't it? I think for this one, we'll go keeperless. Quebecca's going to come onto the bench. Decent little defender, of course, South African. We remember him from last episode. Good. Vaguely. He's in there somewhere. He's in subconscious. All right, we're going to go with the same system again. I'm actually going to make him a deep line forward on attack. I think having him further forwards maybe gives Mikel Torreira a little bit more space to manoeuvre, and maybe gives those boys a little bit more time on the ball as well. One other thing I'm going to change, especially in possession, for this one game against Lazio, which might be a gamble, we're going to up the tempo a little bit and see how we do with that. It'll be a matter of mistakes. If we're making more mistakes on a higher tempo, then I probably won't have us play such a higher tempo, because our safety with the ball and our control of the ball has been really good in every game, possession-wise as well. That's something I want to try and keep a hold of. Obviously, with a deep line playmaker in there now, rather than a ball-winning midfielder, I think we'll be capable of doing it. So it's going to be a bit of a test, as I can see there from that Lazio side. I recognise a few of the names, and when you're at this point in the save and you recognise players like Ruiz, that's not good, because at that point, I am scared. Pereira up front for them is unbelievable. Has been a former Nice loanee. I didn't know that, but I do seem to remember seeing him at Lazio and thinking, wow, this guy's got something, and yeah, he's carried on. Not for years, though. I think it may have been like early Inter. Wait, did I have him at Inter? Hang on. See, now it's all getting very confusing, viewers, because now I'm thinking, was I at Inter during that time? It's all a blur, viewers. It's all a blur. Yes, I was. So he was one of the young strikers. Right, so I cocked that up, really. So he was one of the young strikers coming through at Inter. There's the Inter squad for those that were curious. There's a few names still there. Yeah, he's still, on 325 grand a week, so we can't really do anything about it. Aragon's still there, a few of the other boys at the back as well. It's interesting. So that does make sense now. And then sold to Lazio. That wasn't me. I would never have done that. He's too good to be sold, boys. Although when you got Diego, you sell all the other strikers. Not needed. All right, the bottom line there, viewers, was that he's a really good striker, and I'm Nice, the 6th best team in France, whereas Lazio, one of the big dogs. They're in the Europa League. How big a dog are they? They're the Yorkshire Terrier of Italy, is what they are. That's never been said before. That's never been said about anything before. Just created a new phrase there. They're the Yorkshire Terrier of Italy. Ruiz, though, running forward and looking dangerous, and again, him and Pereira, they're the two that I am most afraid of, viewers, as Hansen's on it now, and it's whether we can. What I'm noticing straight away is the width they've got. But Mikel Torreira, this is what I mean: winning the ball high up the pitch, racing forward. Who didn't sit in the last game, and that finish from Mikel Torreira is that of a Yorkshire Terrier, viewers. He meant well, but it ultimately wasn't. It wasn't very loud. Diallo, chance for us here. The technical ability in this side cannot be underestimated. The composure on the ball there, though. I mean, the tempo didn't look particularly high there, did it? It was very sort of staggered, sort of drunk man out of the pub behaviour there, as Lucas stands right in the way, though, wins it back. It's a back and forth game so far, viewers, and that's what I like to see. Maybe not in the home games so much, as Diallo picks it up. He's not got many options, and as a result of that, plays it across. I don't really know why that's happened. That wasn't great from us at all, as now Lazio back on it, and already I feel like they're going to cause us problems, especially out wide. Ruiz is there, space in the middle if he can find the right pass, and he does. And Pereira, and for all of our good transfers, viewers, we've been outdone there by a little bit of quality. Is the ball being given away, though? That moment before that was the big worry for me. We've got a free kick, though. Mikel Torreira, ball played in. Joe Victor, he's under it and scores. Wow, first goal of the season for him. Scores against Lazio. Came out of nothing. That feels like a bit of a shock there, as back to 1-1. I'm back level. Mikel Torreira, it's a really great delivery. What an area to put it in. This camera angle's not great for replays, it turns out. But Joao Victor at the back post. I didn't sign him for his heading, but fine. Sign him for a sort of creative link-up play. But we'll, score more headers, by all means. All right, in the last game against Lyon, I think we tried to do a little bit too much to try and wrestle it back, where we probably could have kept it the same and been equally as effective. So this game against Lazio, I'm going to try and stick with what I know. They've got a chance right at the end of the half, and I don't want it. At least if I get crossed now, I can just sort of push you away like that, and you see, I don't know what I'm. Go sit over there. Do you know, I feel so alone now without. There you are. You can tell I've got a new toy, can't you? Because I'm just messing about with it. I mean, this is quite a nice finish. Keeper-wise, could he have done better? It struck with some velocity, viewers, so we'll give him the credit. But there we are. 2-1 down, and they've scored right at the end of the half. Worst time to score for us. I'm going to get aggressive. Show me something else in the second half. I don't think we've been terrible. I think Lazio are a better side than us, but it doesn't mean we can't put up a bit more of a fight. Crystal Palace, you can see there. Norwich winning their game as well. Norwich are going to be good. I've got a feeling. As a chance for us here, maybe. Haman plays it into Bernard. Youngix on it now, and it's got to be figured out. Now, what we might have to do throughout this season, and I don't really want this to be a transitional season, but there might be a situation where we have to come up with another system, another way of playing, because as much as I love this diamond, and it was so successful for me last season, and we went on that amazing run, we might have to come up with something else as Bernard's ball in. Not just because we've lost 2 games in a row, just because it gives teams something to think about. If we end up starting with this and then change to something different, it might give us more of an edge in certain games as... Are we shooting the ball with power, or have we made a deal with their goalkeeper not to hurt him? And if we are to change systems, obviously we don't have a lot of width. So what do we change to? Do we go to a more sort of obvious 4-3-3 where you just play a bank of 3 and a bank of 3? I don't know. Maybe. That's an option for us. With the strikers that we've got, we could even play one slightly deeper lying in the middle, similar to this, so it's not too dissimilar as Ivanov now, with a big chance. He shoots from here normally. Bangs it in, does he? There's definitely something going on here today, viewers. And now he's fouled him. Brilliant. Well done, mate. You've really made yourself proud. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do it now. Oh, he's just got injured as well. Are you kidding? Right, well, because of our system, we can still afford to do it. The loser here would be Mikel Torreira, but actually he's having quite a good game. All right, we'll do this. He's going to come on up front. We're going to play 3 advanced forwards, and we're going to play him just in behind. Basically, he's going to act as the ball carrier. Yanchev and Bernard are going to both play deep line playmaker roles on defensive. This is madness. We'll play positively. Why not? We'll look to go forward. We'll look to take a few more risks. Why not? Now that injury's fine. I'm so... Viewers, I'm furious. Okay, there we are. Everything is present and correct. And this is now a bit of a gamble. We still play on this sort of counter-attacking style. If they were to score straight away, that would have really put an issue ahead of everything else. As now, I'm hoping, you know what I'll do very briefly, mid-game here, we're going to go to 2D so we can see these 3 now. We've got these 3-on-2 situations. They're in. They've not scored. But we've got this 3-on-2 situation. That's what I'm trying to create now with this system. Obviously, it requires them to have the ball, and again, it very much requires us to counter-attack in moments, and this might be one of those moments. Yanchev now, forward on this right-hand side. If he can get a ball into the centre, can he? Not yet. Has to go all the way back to Bernard, which is not ideal. It's not a particularly good ball, and Bernard is beaten to it, and we're actually going to speed this up just a touch as well. Lazio going forward, looking dangerous, and Bernard, we're trying everything here, viewers. It's not going to plan, but this is the sort of situation I was talking about. You see, we've got these 3 boys up front. If we can nab it off them in... Again, we're taking a big risk here. They're in on goal. Pereira, great save. We're just playing for that one chance, and hopefully we create a bit of an overload somewhere. Obviously, when they're set defensively, as highlights begin, that's not the case, but we do have to... Oh, my God, what are we doing? Right, I've got to see the goalkeeping. How has it gone through him there? Viewers, I'm on edge, viewers. I don't know what's just gone on, viewers. We've kicked it out. The finish is the bit that worries me. How has he scored when it seems to have gone right at him, viewers? Ruiz is coming forward there, the goalkeeper... Right, let's just be in the game. I don't want to see it anymore. No, I don't want us to have a highlight. I don't want us to be involved. I'm done now. I'm so cross that I'm done now. No one's telling me that's based on the system. This playing at a higher tempo, viewers, not worked, has it? Not worked. Try to get creative. Try to make things happen. Try to make a difference. I've not done any of those things. I've just sat here and panicked. Been embarrassed by Lazio. Not for the first time in this series either. Not first time in France, but not for the first time. I think as I'm looking at it, I'm just thinking if we win the ball back, we've got so many chances to maybe break on this as Lowe gets it back. See, defensively, we've got... Oh, why can't we do it better? I mean, it's not a system I think we're going to deploy very often, but especially when we're behind. This is the moment. Mikel Torreira racing forward. He's got options all over the place. He's going alone. He's going to kick it at the keeper. He has done, viewers. Yeah. He suddenly dwelled on me there. I was like, I know what's going to happen here. I know what's coming. Well, I don't think we're going to win, gang. Could be an expert, but I don't think we're going to win. There we are. Lazio beat us, and Nice have lost 3 games in a row. That's the first time under me, surely. Apart from the start of last season, which we don't talk about. Ivanov's out for 3 to 6 weeks. Our leading man from last year, 3 to 4 weeks, we can do it with a little bit of good physio treatment. So he's going to miss the next few games. And speaking of the next few games, look at that. I mean, we started the season off so well, and now it's gone to pot. It's a disaster, viewers. We've got 3 winnable games coming up in the league, though. That's something, I guess, to be excited about. Where we come to next, though, I'm not too sure. What I'm going to do is I'll base it upon who becomes a bit of a contender, and if it's any of these sides. Otherwise, the next game will be PSG, and that's December. That's miles away. So maybe it'll be around that sort of Guingamp to lose period, and we'll see how we're doing there. That'll have given us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 league games and a couple of Europa games in there as well, which might give us a better understanding of where we are this season. So hopefully you're looking forward to that. And today's episode was a bit of a learning experience. Against some of the better sides, we still don't seem to be quite there. If you enjoyed today, though, please drop a like on it. Want to see some more? Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And I've just realised that last season I said just there that we can't beat better sides. PSG didn't beat me. See you again soon, viewers. Goodbye. God.